And we continue to follow a developing story just northeast of Victoria after a pilot is believed to have died in a plane crash. Authorities with the Victoria County Sheriff's Department said a delivery aircraft crashed in the small town of Inez just after 8 last night. The plane was headed toward Houston. The body of the unidentified pilot has still not been found. Investigators say the pilot was the only person aboard the single-engine plane. TxDOT, along with the NTSB, are investigating. So stay with 3 News for the very latest on this developing story.